Welcome back to Midnight Movie Club and my review of The Night House. The Night House was directed by David Bruckner, the same man behind the lens for The Ritual, and it was also written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski. The Night House actually started out as a pitch for a brand new Hellraiser movie, but that was kind of pushed to the side and became its own thing, and then we got The Night House that stars Rebecca Hall. The Night House follows a widow named Beth who slowly starts to unravel this mystery around her late husband's death. As she learns more about his suicide and why he might have done it, she starts to learn these dark secrets, and it takes her down a very dark rabbit hole that might consume her as well. I honestly really enjoyed The Night House. This film really does have arse-clenching moments of tension in here and dread, but it also has an emotional heart to it. By the end, it will leave you feeling very emotional, and even just after the film, talking about it with my fiancé, we were both getting goosebumps discussing our own interpretations of that film. For some people, it will hit really close to home and be quite confronting, as it's a film that deals with depression and the emptiness of depression and how it can consume you and others around you if you let it. Don't let that fool you though. It's not one of these films where it's all just about the metaphor. There are scares in here, and it does earn the genre of horror, although I would say this one is far more on the psychological side of horror, but it's got some of the best scares I've seen in a horror movie for a while. Actually well crafted jump scares for once. Not just loud noises, building up and you see it coming miles away. This will actually catch you off guard here or there, and it just builds dread and tension perfectly. And some of that is purely down to the sound design. There's some fantastic sound design in The Night House. There's some moments that are absolutely suffocating because of it, and the camera movements as well within the set design. The set design was fantastic. The house that they actually filmed at, the location, was absolutely perfect. We get some beautiful shots, a lot going on in the foreground as well as the background, and lots of racking of the focus. They play with the focus a lot in this film, and it works very, very well. It's not overdone, but when they do use it, they just use it slightly to confuse you a little, put you off kilter and not know what's coming next when that camera moves around a bend. And the way they used the architecture to create things that Beth, the main character, was seeing, it done it in a way like, yeah, that kind of looks like a ghost, but it also kind of looks like just something out the corner of her eye. So it keeps that mystery of, is it really there, or is she just seeing things? Talking about Beth, Rebecca Hall actually puts in a stellar performance. A lot of the film leans on her shoulders, and she absolutely kills it. I actually loved the character of Beth as well, and how upfront she was with people about what had happened, and just how nonchalant she was about just bringing it up in conversation, and how just straight talking she was, cut the bullshit. She was just straight to the point. I really loved that about her. She's a really likeable character right from the start, even before the credits pop up, the beginning credits, the title sequence, she does something, and it's just super relatable. And the way she was written as well, she has fantastic dialogue. The dialogue throughout the whole film is really well done, hints to things here or there, but it's never spelled out for you. It's a very clever, intricate film, and it's not one you have to have a bloody PhD to figure out. You've just got to pay attention and you'll know what's going on. It's not one of these ones where you're going to have to go down a rabbit hole online to actually find out what it was about. You can piece it together yourself, but it is also open to interpretation, and will make for good discussions when you're walking out the theatre with your mates or your partner or whatever. As I said before, there's very nice camera work, but all the visuals in here are fantastic. The little bit of effects that we do have are all done very well, and the way they manipulate the set design is just brilliant. It brings across that sort of manic episode that the main character might be having, or the paranormal element that might be tormenting her. In a lot of ways, the film did remind me quite a bit of Relic, just with it, serving as a metaphor for something we deal with in everyday life and some people suffer with and even, die of. So it was really nice to see them have this deep emotional core to the film, but it had scares on top of that. If you just don't want to read into that stuff, it's still a bloody good horror movie. And there are shades in here where you might go, oh, That's a little reference to Pinhead, you know, Hellraiser. I can see that there. Clive Barker, a little bit of influence there. So you can definitely tell there are little influences and hints here or there where that original Hellraiser pitch might have been going. But I'm really happy that this became its own thing. The music in the Night House as well is very well done. It's very subtle, but you know, when it does come in, it just aids the visuals, never taking over, you know, never telling you what to feel. The visuals do that for you. And honestly, it's just a real good time. When we went to see it, there was only one other person in the show, and so it made it even creepier and, you know, just amped up the atmosphere. And honestly, if you can see this one in the cinemas safely, you can go out to the theatre and see it, I highly recommend you do, because it's probably one of the best horrors I've seen since The Invisible Man. I really do kind of hold it up there with Hereditary being one of the better horrors of the last century or last 5 years or whatever. So yeah, I'm definitely recommending this one to all of you horror lovers out there, and especially lovers of psychological horror. The trailer does kind of trick you into thinking it's going to be about something else, but I really do like the twists and turns it took, and the kind of lore and mythology it set up for what could come after death. But I'll leave it at that. Anyway, with all that said and done, I'm going to give The Night House a 4.5 out of 5 rating. I highly recommend you go check this one out. I really enjoyed it, and if you're a fan of the channel and the movies I talk about here, I think you'll really like this one too. After putting up with the absolute bile like Fear Street trilogy on Netflix, this is a breath of fresh air and has just rejuvenated my love for the horror genre and talking about horror movies on YouTube. So yeah, I appreciate this film for that. I'm really keen to hear your thoughts and interpretations of The Night House in the comment section down below, so please do get chatting down there. We'll have a little talk after this is posted, and just put in spoiler tags if you're going to mention any spoilers. Just be considerate of other people who might not have seen the film. I'm also going to go live just after this drops, so if you're finishing up this video now, I'm probably live streaming, talking about the film, you know, explaining it and everything like that. So come on over to the live stream and let's have a chat. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this review, please do leave it a like, and if you are brand new to the channel, then subscribe to join the club. Thank you very much, and good night.